First Warning MMA Report is joined live by Jamey, the Afro Samurai Simmons. Jamey has joined us to talk about his training background and the two huge fights he has coming up in the next 3 weeks. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. So you come from a wrestling background. Did you participate in any other sports growing up, and what prompted you to give MMA a try?
Well, growing up, I played football, I wrestled, and I played baseball in high school. Throughout middle school and my elementary days, I played a lot of basketball, so I'd consider myself like a four-sport athlete. Um, after wrestling, what prompted me to get in MMA is I truly always wanted to be a professional athlete, of some sort. And with like the skills I picked up in wrestling and sort of the attitude and the mindset, the transition to MMA just sort of came natural. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And you've been training your whole career out of Pura Vida, correct?
Yes.
As far as MMA goes. So tell us a little bit more about the first time you walked in and some of the experiences you've had there.
I'd say the first time I walked into Pura Vida, it was a jiu-jitsu practice, and I'd seen jiu-jitsu before, but I didn't really know a whole lot about it. And being a wrestler, I just thought, being a wrestler, I thought wrestling trumped any other like grappling sport, right? So it's kind of funny. They would call it the gentle art, right? And growing up wrestling, being like a Greco wrestler, wrestling in college, it's also physical and dominant. I just couldn't wrap my brain around the fact that any part of grappling could be a gentle art. So right away, I truly didn't respect it, like at least the jiu-jitsu part so much, but getting in there, rolling with the guys, and getting, beat up a little bit, kind of refocused my mindset there a little bit and changed my mind. So, after taking a couple of butt whoopings, kind of, grew a little respect for it. Absolutely.
Yeah, makes sense, man. It's a fun sport for sure. And it's quickly growing too. There's a lot of people are getting into it for sure. And what do you love about Pura Vida, and what do you think sets that gym apart from others in the area?
What I love about it's, I come in every day and it's like, I'm coming into like it's like a second home to me, like everyone on my team are like brothers. Coaches are like, second parents or, like mentor figures. I come to them if I have questions, work sucks. I feel like I can talk to them about anything. What separates Pura Vida, I believe, is like the guys we have in our gym. Ultimately we have tough guys in our gym, like one of the toughest I can guarantee in the city of Milwaukee and probably like the state of Wisconsin. You were talking about a little bit about Montel Jackson or O'Day Osborne. Like those two dudes are like legitimately studs in like every aspect of MMA. So coming here, working with these guys, I benefit a lot, obviously, because, they say surround yourself by people that are like, same mindset or as good as you or better than you. We're all super competitive in a weird edge, we always are pushing each other to be better. And if you show up having a bad day, you're gonna have to pay for that, with those two guys. So, man, I love it. Love it.
Excellent. Yeah, it's I got to watch O'Day spar last week, and he is fun to watch. That is for sure. I'm excited for his UFC debut.
He's bad. He's a bad man.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, you already mentioned him and Montel. You also have Zach Otto there, Leah Lexington. So you got, I think, 4 UFC fighters in the gym right now. And how does training with those guys prepare you to go further in your career?
Honestly, like, I started here when the gym was like little and up and coming and building, with guys like Zach, Leah, Montel, even O'Day sort of came in late, but, like it's easy for me to trust the process because I've witnessed them, go through it and like make it, I've seen them like, have their opportunity. I've seen them fight at the regional level. I've seen them get their opportunities and I've seen them fight in the UFC already, so it's right there to me. It's like proof, right? Like, so it's just, they're witnesses, living witnesses, trust the process, follow.
Absolutely,
man.
It's gotta be fun training there all the time.
It is. The energy, it's crazy too, man. A room full of animals.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I mentioned watching sparring last weekend too. I saw you going through some drills there, and you're definitely a warrior for sure. So you have two big fights coming up here. This Saturday, you're fighting a co-main event at SWB4 in Hayward, Wisconsin. And then December 7th, you're the main event at Pure FC 16. Tell us a little bit more about those cards and the opponents you have on those cards.
Okay, so the first one's gonna be in Hayward, Wisconsin, which I'm pretty excited about. I'm from a small town not too far from that area, so I'm thinking I can bring a pretty good crowd. As for my opponent, I don't know much about him. I know his record's 5-2. I know he's a little bit of a brawler. I've seen a couple of his fights. I think it's definitely gonna be a fight, but I'm going in there trying to get that W and come home. Be ready for stay healthy and be ready for December 7th. I'm getting ready for that one too, obviously. As for December 7th, again, I know my opponent a little bit. His name's Morgan Sickinger. I seen him one time in the room. I've watched a couple of his fights. He actually called me out for this one, so I'm gonna love, for this opportunity as well. But honestly, I'm coming off a tough loss, so these next two fights are big, to end the year off, with a couple wins and on the right foot, get prepared for, start the year off correct for next year, right?
Absolutely.
So both.
Yeah, and you just mentioned your tough loss too. I know it was a real quick stoppage. You just got caught. It happens. How has that kind of prepared you and to keep going forward in your career?
It was definitely a tough pill to swallow. I'm not gonna lie, but it comes with the sport, right? Like, I'm not gonna say it made me want to quit. I'm not gonna say I'm a warrior, man. Like, if anything, it just made me stronger. Gave me that itch to compete more. Want to get it back. Kind of gave me a chip on my shoulder. From what I'm told, I usually compete a little better with a chip on my shoulder. So, we're looking forward, and honestly, like, as a step, it just kind of ultimately like made me realize I gotta mix it up more. Adapt my game a little bit, and be a little bit more well-rounded, opposed to like trying to wrestle everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. So how's your camp and preparation for both these fights been going?
Good. We've been in camp for a while. We thought we were gonna fight Morgan Sickinger in Oshkosh, so we've sort of been in camp training for that. So picking up the short notice fight next weekend wasn't too bad, or was easy to do because we're right there, right? We've been training, we're ready for it. But like I said, nothing out of the ordinary. We train every day. During the day we train a couple hours during the day, and then we come in the evening, we train a couple more hours. We haven't done anything too different. I don't have to cut weight too much for this first one. The second fight's gonna be 10 pounds like smaller. I'm gonna be going up. I'm fighting 155 right now. I'm gonna be jumping down to 145 for the second one. So I'm gonna cut weight gradually, like maintain that, and then be right on ready to make weight again in 2 weeks. But as for training, we just stay ready and work hard.
Absolutely, man. Gotta stay prepared, live the lifestyle.
Absolutely.
So who are you gonna have in your corner for both these fights?
The usual. I usually have Jake Clipp, the head coach, Solo Escato, and Zach Otto. Ride or dies from day one.
Yeah, they're fun guys too. So you mentioned Nick Spina. That's the fight you have this coming Saturday. You mentioned a little bit about watching some video on him. How much video do you watch on him, and how do you think that fight goes?
I watch a little bit of video, just sort of like to see the kind of fighter they are and the style they bring to the table, right? If they're a karate guy, I want to know if they're doing a bunch of spinning stuff. I want to know if he's more of like a grappler, going to come and try to grapple me. But that's like to about the gist of it. I don't go as much to watching 5 or 6 fights and trying to figure out like everything he does. I just kind of, try to see the style he brings to the table. Like I said, I just came off a tough loss, and I want to like mix it up and show my hands a little bit. So I'm gonna look to go into this fight striking a little bit and hopefully get the W with my hands.
Excellent. And how about that fight with Sickinger?
Same thing, man. Morgan Sickinger. I believe he believes, since we're both wrestlers, there's gonna be a wrestling match. But like I said, I've been working on mixing it up, and I'm gonna be looking forward to finishing this one again too with my hands.
Awesome. Yeah, we look forward to both those fights. Are there any sponsors, training partners, coaches, family, friends you'd like to give a shout out to?
Shout out to my team, right? My teammates, my coaches, everyone that's been there helping me get better throughout the way. My friends, my family that's been showing the constant support and love from the beginning. The ride's only started, and we've got a lot more work to do, but we're gonna get there. Thank you.
Awesome, man. Yeah, we look forward to seeing you on Saturday night, and best of luck to that fight and also your fight on December 7th.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, man. Appreciate the time.
Bye.